Devin,
Mm-hmm.
ready?
I don't know if Heather's ready.
I'm ready.
Ready? Okay, I'd like to call our regular council meeting of Tuesday, November 12th to order. We respectfully acknowledge that this meeting is being held on the traditional territory of the Quadra people, Ilikesa.
Yes, that's
May I have, I would like to add under new business number 3, resolution to lower the flag. May I have approval of the agenda as amended? Councilor Texmo, Councilor Dorwood, all in favor? Carried. So before we start, I would just like to acknowledge and let everybody know that doesn't know that former Premier Horgan passed away today or last night. And those of you that know him know how much he worked to make BC stronger for everybody. And his accomplishments will be felt for many, many years, and he will be missed. He had a tremendous impact on the communities, rural and urban. He had a tremendous impact on the world and on the country. And as well, I think he's one of the few political leaders that there wasn't controversy, and everybody knew how much he loved his family. So our sympathies go out to his family and friends.
Well said, Mayor.
Okay. Adoption of minutes. The minutes of the special council meeting held October 17th for adoption. Councilor Textron. Councilor
Thank you, Tiberi.
Tisbury. Any errors or omissions? All in favor? Carried. We have the minutes of the regular council meeting held October 22nd for adoption.
I'll move.
Councilor Dorwood, seconded by Councilor Tisbury, all in favor? Carried. We have the minutes of the special council meeting held October 28th for adoption. Councilor Textfall, Councilor Tisbury, all in favor? We have a delegation, Sarah Salter, Port Hardy Wildlife, or Wild Safe BC Community Coordinator. Come on up.
Where? Oh, here. Oh, I thought I like.
And I'm
stopped.
hoping.
I'm used to presenting to small children and you're always having to be like, okay.
We're not a lot different. It's okay. No, we're not.
Where do I go?
Just give me one.
The clicker. Give it a test roll.
Sure.
Where do I think?
Oh, over here.
No.
We might have to.
Do it by hand?
Together.
Oh, go, oh, hell no.
Okay, I will help you.
Okay.
Tell me when you're ready.
Next.
All right, I'm Sarah Salter. I'm the Port Hardy Community Coordinator for WildSafe BC. And WildSafe BC is managed through the BC Conservation Foundation. And it's a nonprofit charity. And you can, yes. Thanks. So this is actually the second year doing WildSafe BC in Port Hardy. And the first year was kind of short from November to February. So, and now we did May to the end of this month, November. So I think I got a lot more happen this year, which is good. So WildSafe BC is a provincial leader in preventing wildlife conflict with humans, and we do that through education, collaboration, and community solutions. So here, a lot of collaboration with BearSmart, Port Hardy, really working closely with them, doing a lot of our activities together. I came to every meeting and we worked I work a lot closely with Bear Smart in kind of deciding what to do with the program, and they help me with kind of finding what sort of things would help them, what sort of initiatives I could do. We did lots of like booths together. We just finished a Halloween pumpkin carving contest. So yeah, lots of good things together. So now we can move on. Thank you. So I know it says 2024, 122 students, but actually it was more because I did more in the last season, February, but this is this season, and lots of I will talk a little bit more about that program a little later. Also, lots of community members engaged this year. Really found the booths really good, and good like collaboration with Bear Smart for the booths, and wildlife awareness presentation. So I got to talk to community members about different animals, and lots of growth with Facebook actually, which was great. Last year I had like 9 or 10 people, so it's made a big difference this year. So yeah, so we can move on.
Oh, look what I did.
Yeah, what did you do?
There we go.
So, conservation officer reports, you can see there are actually not that many reports coming in. It was, so I have 2023 and 2024 there, so more last year for black bears, almost 30, and this year it was 20 reports, and only 12 of those are about accessing garbage and attractants. And then cougar reports, not very many, like just over 5, 6, so it was 6 last year and 12 this year. And 1 cougar was destroyed this year in June. It was a very skinny cougar that had had killed a dog actually while the person was present, the owner was present, so that's quite scary, and it was during the daytime. And then a lot of wolf sightings this year, which we hadn't had previously. And I did find a lot of people were actually putting messages on Facebook or like on social media and not necessarily contacting the conservation officer service, and they don't monitor any social media. So I did try to tell people like they don't monitor this, so you have to report it. But yeah, I think that's an important thing to continue like sending out the message that you have to contact the conservation officer service because they can't do anything if they don't know about it, right? And there was 1 bear destroyed this year. There, earlier in the year, it had gotten into someone's house while they were home. And last year there were 4 bears destroyed, so it is a decrease. But I know last year it was a whole family that was destroyed, so not great things I hear, but it happens. It's better than, what was it? Oh, somewhere else in BC was like 76 bears. So it was like not nearly as bad as that. So yay. Yeah. And then we can go on to the next one. Okay, so the Wild Safe Ranger program, it's really important to get them while they're young. They go home and they tell their parents about what they learned. They remember about they learn about attractants, what kind of things that wildlife needs in the forest, and what they can also access these things in town. So kind of teaching them about those things, and also safety, because we live in a place where they might encounter wildlife. So I do teach a lot about safety and what we role play about what they should do. So I did teach all of the students at Wogulus this year, and I also did the lower grades at Eagle View Elementary. And I think it's important to continue doing the Wildlife Ranger program and going into schools, because it's really good to keep reinforcing how do you be safe, you can help teach your family about not having attractants and things like that. So always good. I remember learning about recycling when I was young and in school, and now I really am all about recycling, so I know it works.
Especially those pop cans, you gotta pull apart.
That's right. Now we're like, okay, recycling is an attractant, so make sure you're being good with it. And I think that, like, didn't get to go to all of the schools this year, so I think there's still more schools that can be reached. And yeah, I think it's very valuable that they get a chance to talk to someone who has the knowledge and they can ask questions and things like that. All right, we can go on. I did 4 presentations at the library. One, I focused on different animals, one on bats, one on wolves, one on cougars, and then the last one was kind of a general one about bears, but also more, what kind of, more animals than just the kind of targeted. I also did a presentation at the Quag Youth Community Dinner, which they actually asked for, which I thought was great. The community dinner was focusing on safety that month. So one of their things was safety with wildlife, and they were really interested in wolves and bear safety. And, timely this year to learn about wolf safety.
Yeah.
But I think it's a good way to people can ask questions and have someone there that they can connect with. I think I would hope in the future to be able to provide presentations to different groups, like maybe Rotary or the Senior Center, or connecting with the North Island College to see if they would be, any groups there that might be interested. And you can go on. Display booths, so they were really good. I did 4 display booths, and with lots of people, 419 people. The best one was the BC Rivers Day at the Quatsi Salmon Hatchery. We had 170 people come to the booth, so there was a lot of talking, but really great to see so many people come out. I think even on previous years of just doing Bear Smart, that's the most I think we'd had. So that was really good. And lots of good engagement regarding kind of safety with animals and people asking about composting. So, different topics that it seemed like different times there were different subjects. Like one booth, it was all about composting, and another booth, it was all about safety with wolves and things. So really, I think it depended on what season it was. Also, I got different talks depending on what season it was. Okay. Bin tagging. I didn't get to do as much bin tagging as I wanted to because I didn't have someone else to go out with me, because I'm going at night. It's for safety. You have to have someone else to go with you. So I only got to go a couple of times. So in the future, I would hope to be able to go more, but you can see I did hit some of our prime areas. And I actually didn't end up tagging that many bins, only 9 in total, but I can't go on private property. So sometimes I would see garbage bins just past the driveway and couldn't, of course, do anything about it because I can't go, they had to be on the curb.
Right.
So, or just sometimes you see it beside someone's house and you're like, well. So I couldn't do, perhaps I would have had a lot more if I could have done that, but yes, no. And I did do door-to-door in response to the cougar attack in June, and that was really good conversations, just about, making sure people are aware of what attractants are, like anything that attracts a deer is a cougar attractant, because the deer are a cougar attractant, and just making sure people are keeping their pets in at night and things like that. Although that other cougar seemed to have done it in the dirt to come in the daytime, but usually it's sick cougars, or that one was really skinny, they said, so could have been a juvenile who was 400. But all the other cougar incidents were just sightings, no problems. Same with the wolves, they were all just sightings, no problems, they weren't after any attractants. So also I recently, last week, did some door-to-door along Bing Road, because there were some bears getting into garbage there. I actually saw a bear and 3 cubs cross the road as I was doing it. So it was very yes, they are very much there. But it's good going door to door. I find getting to talk to people, like especially when there's been something that they have like questions about it, or it's really like they're more engaged because there's been an incident, so they want to know about it. I did a little bit of preventative door to door in areas that were common to have problems also, and lots of people are like, oh yeah, I know what to do. Yeah, I've got it covered. But you know, it doesn't hurt. You get new people coming in to town and stuff that don't necessarily know, or people think they know and they don't. So it's always good to have those conversations. Yeah, we can go on. So you can see I had like hardly any followers at the beginning of the season and ended up with an additional 116. So that was great, and lots of good. I don't know that I had as many back and forth comments with people, but I really tried to put out safety information and things like that. Like lots of engagement and sharing. I noticed with the wolf post about what to do if you come across a wolf, and the same when I had the cougar post, lots of sharing. It seemed like more like that sort of was happening. And reminding people that things are attractants, like pumpkins at this at Halloween, they're actually an attractant. So I found it's a good way to get to send the message to people who, you know, I don't get to interact in another way. Yes, and I think it's good to help keep growing it. I think for the next season, hopefully next season, that it would be good to just keep having more of a reach. And I also got to do an interview on All Points West. Just generally, because that was back when we had the cougar killed, and they also reached out and asked for someone to talk to. So it was good to just generally talking about wildlife safety, what to do with cougar, and it was good to, I think in the future, I'd like to reach out more to local media or to whoever does this role in the future, to more in the local newspaper to promote events or like safety, talk about safety with wildlife. I think that was,
I didn't do anything.
Oh, you broke it?
I think that was mostly the last slide is just saying, thank you to the city of District of Port Hardy for sponsoring the program. And I think it is important because with Bear Smart not having so many volunteers, it's a good way to, like, I found I was doing the majority of the activities that were actually Bear Smart activities also. Like sometimes I would just be the only one doing the booth, even though it was a Wild Safe and Bear Smart booth or things like that. So I think it was important to help keep Bear Smart, like have more time to put towards it than just a volunteer. I thought that was helpful. Yeah, does anyone have any questions?
What is the Facebook page called? Sorry.
Port Hardy, Wildside BC, Port Hardy, or is it Port Hardy, Wildside BC? One of those
I'll
two.
find it. Okay.
Thank you. That was really very informative and very good. And I've been to your booth a number of times with grandkids and other people, and they always love it.
Good.
So thank you.
Yeah, no, we just live in a community that has lots of interactions. Thank you for the presentation and what you do, and from all the information that Trina has brought to us about Bear Safe, it seemed to work.
Yeah, I think, well, Bear Smart has been going for a number of years, and I actually do think that there has been, people have learned more about being attractant, like not having attractants out in the community. I think, well, with the bin tagging, it was, I think, helpful for me saying, oh, yes, there's only 9 bins I tagged, even though there were some on property. It wasn't like that many. So actually it wasn't like there was so much out there, which was good. I think that the program has helped.
I think just to add on, like it's such a great program to have
available, I learned a ton about other wildlife. Yeah, we need to be bear smart. But we also have other animals, as we just learned this year with the wolves, and we've always had cougars, so it's just nice. And then knowing about all, yeah, bats and all kinds of stuff that we share our community with, right? And junior rangers that were, is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's just Waldsee Rangers.
Yeah, it's so cute for the kids, and that's when we get them, right? And they help us, so yeah, hopefully that we can keep the program going and
Yeah.
yeah, continue to do more for our community. But thank you, Sarah, for all of your work.
And there's lots of resources provided through Wildsafe BC also, that they like lots of pamphlets on different animals, and then they have their website, which has lots of information. And I'm gonna be doing a bear spray workshop actually with district employees next week, so there's other programs that we do. I did reach out to a couple of campgrounds to see if they were interested in our campground stuff, but nobody seemed to be interested.
Oh, maybe next year.
Maybe, yeah, that's right. It's always like the next time as people get to learn more about the program.
Yeah.
All right,
Good.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Oh, with that.
Sorry, just one comment. I've been with the district for Hardy since 2015, and 2016 is kind of when we reinvigorated the Bear Smart program. And then we did receive Bear Smart status in 2020. But I did just want to say that Sarah was one of our very first volunteers that stepped forward and then became chair of the Bear Smart committee. So thank you for stepping up and taking on that role. It's been a pleasure to work with Sarah, and it's been nice that we've been able to access this funding to be able to support having Sarah actually be an hourly employee to be able to work under the Wild Safe program in order to deliver that. So it's just been thankful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, and thanks for coming.
Yeah.
And Sarah, you're welcome to stay for our revenue.
There's no expectation.
Oh, and the final report should be sent to you guys sometime in December. I'm gonna send it into Wildsafe, and they should be able to send it to the district after
Okay.
they've kind of done whatever they do with it.
Great,
Sarah.
thank you.
Thank you.
It's great hearing these reports too, and
Mhm.
know what's going on, so we really appreciate it. Okay, business arisings, we have our council action item report for October 22nd for information. Any comments? Questions? We have from Laura Donovan, member of the Botanic, sorry.
I know there's can we get the highways maintenance group here to talk to us sometime on?
Can I talk to you about this?
Well, about,
Are you on the council action item? report?
yeah, and it's just, I know I probably should have put it in my report, but I just thought because the roads are not the best. And we haven't seen them, any representative, I was just at the regional, emergency planning, and they didn't even show up for that either, so. Maybe it's the wrong place, but.
So was that under the action item or just something you'd like?
I'd like to see be an action item. So
Alright.
they come to see us.
Okay, we can talk about that one later then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, moving on, we've got Laura Donovan, member of the Odanic First Nations regarding the suicide prevention support for Indigenous children. And she had quite a compelling story and a request. And I know we sent it back to council. Or to staff, I mean. So I'm just wondering if perhaps we can send her a letter, not only listing the school district 85 mental health resources, but as well the Triban First Nations have just recently hired a crisis counselor or crisis intervention, I can't remember the quite correct name, but have just hired someone to help man their lines and their crisis for their Indigenous children and youth and adults too, and send that information and let her know that we are supporting the tribans in the area. Who is it? Oh, sorry.
Thank you, Mayor. So I did forward this, at council's request, this letter on to the health director of the Cornwall Health Center. And I did receive a response, and it was in strong support of supporting the call for mandate to provide this training, that being suicide intervention and prevention to staff in schools in British Columbia, and also additional capacity for building in suicide intervention, prevention and follow-up outreach to students and youth. And so that was supported by Caitlin Hartnett through that letter. I've also forwarded on to our North Island Crisis and Counseling, and did not hear a response. However, I do believe that this would, again, be strong supported by them as well.
I'll make a motion that we write the with the original request of the proponent there, that we go with that as a motion.
Okay. Moved by Councillor Dorwood, seconded by Councillor Tatwell. Any other comments or questions? So would that fall in line, Deputy Corporate Officer Bates, with what this proponent is asking for? Is it just a letter of support?
We could do both.
Yeah.
If it's the interest of council, is prepare a letter of response to the proponent as well as a letter to the Minister of Education.
Okay, I think that
I
would.
like that. Yeah.
Any other discussion? All in favor? Carried. We have, from Aniri Garrick Standards, Canada's cruise ship pollution policy for discussion. And her request was sending a letter to the Ministry of Transportation in support of specific federal policy changes to address cruise ship pollution regulations at Canadian shores. For discussion. Councillor Roberts.
So I still continue to, and thank you for the, but I continue to have some questions about it. And I will say I do have a family member who was indirectly involved with the industry, so to speak, sort of. Anyway, I have a couple of things. One is I'm not clear on, we ourselves put effluent in the water. It's treated 2 stages, I believe.
Yeah.
And I'd be interested to know how that compares to what cruise ships are putting in terms of treated sewage. Secondly, I think we need to, and it's fair enough. I did a little bit of just, basic Googling of the organization that's asking this. And they, very well-known ENGO, and they publish their financial information such as it is. It says it is in Canada. It had its roots on Vancouver Island as Friends of Clayoquot Sound way back when. But so, at least according to Wikipedia. But I still think there's more information we need to hear. And I'm not sure what the cruise industry is doing but before we go ahead and start writing to the Ministry of Transportation, I think we should at least ask, industry for what their thoughts on it are. We have had situations before where groups have made presentations to our council about concerns with aquaculture, concerns with forestry. And I don't think it's our practice to simply say, oh, okay, yeah, okay, that sounds good. We won't get any other input into the issues that you're raising. So I think in this situation, we would be well to get more information, perhaps from industry. And the independent third party that's mentioned in the report. I'm not 100% sure what role that is playing. So I guess that's a long way of saying I'm not at a point where I'm prepared to support that letter being written at this point, because I don't know enough about it.
Yeah, Councillor Tidbury.
I agree with the, Councillor Roberts, the comments. I don't think, we're only hearing one side of the situation. And there's many sides here. There's, our own particular governments are involved in this, as well as the shipping industry is involved in this, so I think we can't just go relying on one piece of information. I think we need, if we're going to deal with this, I think we need to have more information, and that's all.
Thanks. Councillor Texel.
I just want to reiterate, I think I agree with Councillor Robertson 100%. I mean, we're not wastewater specialists by any means, especially when it comes to, on the ocean. So it's really hard to make a decision that could potentially have a huge impact without really knowing specifics or having someone with significant experience to really, in layman's terms, dumb it down for us on what we need to know, right?
Sorry, Councillor Durwood.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm seeing there's no flavor for writing a letter in support of what they asked for. Instead of having staff more time into this, I think we'll just receive and file. This would be my motion. I do want to say thank you, Louisa. Very good background information that is prepared in the report. So thank you so much for that.
So did you make a motion, Councillor
Yeah.
Durwood?
So yes, that's a motion to just receive and file. Yeah. Take no
Yeah,
action.
and second by Councillor Texel. Any other discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Carried.
And again, thank you, Louisa. I know it was
That
a
was a
Yeah.
very
report.
detailed report.
Yes, very much
You could have been
appreciated.
a thesis on that.
Yes.
Topic specifically.
Yeah.
There's a lot of.
Even just
And in
reading.
fact, it may be good to get one or two of those theses.
It's not there yet.
Yeah.
So under new business, 2024 provincial election results and change in North Island. I thought a congratulatory letter to our new MLA, Anna Kidby, may be in order. And as well, invite her to come up to meet with council and maybe attend the agriculture transition plan virtual meeting that we're going to be having. Everybody's in favor of that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Totally in favor of
Do
that.
we need a motion or just?
It's up to you. If you would like, as long as it seems like everybody's in agreement.
Councillor Dorwood?
Yeah, I'm in favor of that. I would also just, if we could also send a letter of thank you to Michelle Babchuk for her work in the past. Did a really good job for our writing.
Good, I agree.
Mhm.
Thank you. And so direction to staff. Under the Association of Vancouver Island and Coastal Communities regarding the 2025 convention and resolutions for information. And as well, if any counselors are planning on attending, if you haven't responded to our deputy corporate officer's request to respond, please let her know as soon as possible. Counselor Durwood, do you have your hand up again?
No, sorry, you're gonna take it down. I'll get better. Hang on.
Didn't wanna miss you. We have the notice for resolutions, call for executives, if anyone is interested in being on the executive. And as well, call for session submissions. So please keep it on your radar. And a correspondence we have from Karina O'Beary. Oh,
Sorry, item number 3 that was added, read them.
sorry, number 3. Because of Premier Horgan's passing, I'm wondering about having a resolution to lower our flag tomorrow at half-mast and then the day of the funeral. And I'm wondering what the appetite of council is to that.
I'll make that motion.
Moved by Councillor Robertson, seconded by Councillor Davis. Any other comments?
And just, we do that down here up here, because we were talking about the raising the Métis flag as well,
Well,
so.
if we did the flag just tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then the Métis flag can go up for
Thursday.
tomorrow on Thursday.
Yeah.
And however long they said they wanted it
Yeah.
up until then we would have Premier Horgan's lowering of the flag on its day of his funeral.
I believe the flag for Métis week is till the 21st, and then staff would lower it, take down, and then we can make that. I don't know the date.
We don't know that.
It has to wait till
No, I know first.
they haven't advertised it yet at this point in time, so right now the flags are half-mast, without an end date, for the province. It says Parliament buildings in Victoria and all British Columbia government buildings and establishments will be flying at half-mast.
Can we also send a sympathy card?
Nice touch.
Thanks.
Would it be appropriate if, the 14th, just the district flag was replaced with flag and then just left at half-mast, though, for that time frame, for the duration of the 2 week, and then replace the flag with the.
Can't hear you.
Yeah, I think what we would probably do is we'll lower this one tomorrow, and then we'll lower the province flag, the ones down at the park as well. And then we can leave those ones at half-mast, and then when the Métis flag goes up, we'll put the Métis flag all the way to the top, because that one is not a half-masting flag, so it shouldn't be half-masted.
Right. Okay. We need a motion or
I think
direction?
we have a motion to lower the flag for tomorrow and on the day of the funeral.
Okay.
I think
Did we vote on
vote
it?
on it?
Not yet.
So no.
Yeah, we need to vote.
All in favor? Any opposed? Carried. Time delay on Councilor Dorwitz. But we-
That was a vote in the affirmative.
All right, we have correspondence. Karina O'Beara, Administrative Assistant, WOTC Consulting and Management Services regarding a letter of support for emergency shelter funding to address homelessness. We already voted electronically on this and or in person. But this is for ratification, so moved by Councilor Dugas, seconded by Councilor Robertson. All in favor? Carried. From Elizabeth Amman Hume, Fort Hardy Chamber of Commerce and Corey Nelson Festival of Lights Committee regarding the Festival of Lights request of council. And so we have the letter to council with a number of requests to go with that. And I know that staff had some discussion about it. I have to say that council on the whole is very in favor of it. But it's just a couple little points in the requests. And I wonder if our CAO wants to talk about it.
Sure. Thank you, Mayor. Just to clarify, I just wanted to make sure it's clear that we're not the hosts of the Festival of Lights. Just because it's not really clear necessarily in some places with regards to the request. So I just wanted to compare last year to this year. So we're not the host, and the Chamber of Commerce would be taking the insurance as well as organizing the event and the setup and takedown of the lights. I know last year we did assist with some lighting, but I don't know if we'll be able to provide more than what we did last year due to capacity reasons. So we can still provide what we did last year going forward. Council would then be issuing a yes to the park use with the insurance being covered by the Chamber of Commerce. In terms of installing the signage, we didn't do that last year. The request last year was to have a 2 foot wide by 1 foot high sign.
We're not doing that.
Okay, not the sign at all.
No little signs. Not doing that. Chasing garbage all over the place.
Okay.
We're not doing that. What we'd rather do is a kiosk.
Okay, so we have erect a large sign like the Shop Local North Island in front of the RCMP building to advertise the event and to recognize the sponsors. Is the request.
Nope.
So I just think you should do the kiosk. That big sign, like you're gonna have to dig up, that's something you're gonna have to ask. If we're allowed to, right?
Well, with the art permit.
Right?
Oh, I'm
So.
sorry, just to clarify, the request is for the sign to go outside the RCMP building, which we already have the sign pegs for.
No, I think it's like, so it's an example of.
Oh, okay, there we go. Then forget it. I was misunderstanding.
I misunderstood too.
Yeah, I was gonna go right there. That would be acceptable, but so we'll skip past that one. We can definitely leave the barricades for the event organizers like we do for other events. I believe that the mayor has already been requested to be in attendance at this event to
Well,
advertise.
this is the first official one.
Yeah, and advertising has already been done, saying that. And then I think just in terms of, there was a request in here at the end, or a couple of requests. One was that we monitor the park, which we won't be able to do. We won't be able to do a daily check on the park. Last year, the volunteers did that as part of their insurance. And the other thing is just in terms of the coordination or assistance, we wouldn't be able to provide any staff for the actual event itself. It would still have to be run by the organizers.
What about the visitor center building?
So those things will all have to be coordinated through the visitor center building itself. We can't tell the visitor center who runs a lease what they can and can't do. However, what we have been told through conversation is that they have already been talked to and consulted with.
So it's all okay.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that I had looked at in terms of the signage, just kind of going back to that, was a banner might be more applicable up at the entrance to town in order to showcase the Festival of Lights and when the event is going to happen. I think that would be one thing that I would definitely point the event organizers into doing. And then in terms of getting the fire department, that would have to be all coordinated through Brent and the department itself in order to go from there. We can't really require the volunteers to participate. If they're available, then I know that they would if they were available. And then again, the access to the visitor center would just have to be directed with the visitor center. And I know last year they actually had cameras installed in order to monitor the lights and to make sure that there wasn't going to be any issues with like theft. So I wasn't sure if that was going to be brought up again.
There it is. I talked to Alex today and he'll do a temporary on the visitor center, and I talked to ABC and we can access their cameras if need be. And I talked to the Salvation Army, and we can access their cameras if need be. If there's an incident, the RCMP can go in. They already said yes.
So to reiterate, if council was to entertain a motion, it would be somewhere along the lines of permit the Chamber of Commerce to host the second annual Festival of Lights in Carrot Park for the duration of the Christmas season, to host an event where they light up the park, to install the lights at the park, that we would provide the barricades for the event organizer, that the mayor be in attendance, and that where practicable, the staff may offer assistance similar to 2023.
Yeah, second that.
Sorry, who was first?
Fred moved and I second.
Moved by Council Robertson, seconded by Council Textron. Any comments? Council Smith?
I think this is a great event, and I hope we continue to grow it and build our capacity down at the park with electrical. I think that's maybe we should focus on, but yeah, I'm certainly in support of it. It's so dark here that we need lights. I am quite grateful for this event.
Council Dugas?
Well, just a big thank you to Cora and all the people that worked on this last year, and we're really excited about this year's event. So thank you for stepping up and doing that. Really appreciate it.
Too, just hope the rain subsides.
And the wind.
Yeah, hopefully it blows all the way before that.
Council Textron?
Yeah, I just want to reiterate, thank you to Cora and all the volunteers and the chamber, everyone that put that on last year. It was amazing. You could see smiles ear to ear on all the kids, and what a great community event. And like Councilor Smith said, I think this is just the start, and try and expand and hopefully get some electrical down there that will help out with that for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I have that box, see,
What's that?
that box could go over that way, the one I used for the stage.
Oh, yeah, there was a plug-in.
There's a plug-in
Is it on
at
there?
yeah,
By the.
and I've got 100-foot cable for it.
Yeah, the only thing was it would, like, if those lights are to be on for a certain amount of time, you had to make sure that would be okay by you to have that there for a certain amount of time as well, right?
Well, they could have it.
Definitely
for
not.
right.
Yeah, that's
I
something
have
to
a
consider.
big panel box that has fuses on it, and that we can hook it into where the Twinning City park is there, and you can put it anywhere you want, and there's 100-foot cable with it. So,
Yeah, that might help alleviate some things, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, it's on the post. And we'd like to have the floods on the floodlights, because it's dark at 4 and we don't want kids tripping on the cables and ripping up the lights because they're having fun. Like we want it to be safe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty heavy cable.
Yeah.
Oh, we appreciate it. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Like anything helps.
But if you want, if I'm
So I
seeing
can get-
Ken tomorrow, so I can just say I've got it there, and it plugs. It's 60 amps. So
Awesome.
Well, thank you very much, Cora. This is really great. And I love that you put the call out for volunteers.
Yeah.
And
I'm hoping, because last year it worked, that people will be receptive, and I'd like to do it in a 2-day blitz, not 2 weeks.
exactly.
You
Yeah.
can only ask so much of people.
So I think it's great.
All right,
It's gonna move.
thank you guys.
Thank you. Oh, do we need to vote? Did we vote
We
already?
didn't vote on that.
All in favor? Harry?
There you go.
And you could stay as long as you want.
Thank you for the invitation.
We'll take that as a polite
Yeah,
requirement.
right. Good night, you guys.
Good night.
Good night.
Night, Cora. We have from Kara Knott, Administration and Projects Coordinator, Port Hardy Chamber of Commerce regarding the 2024 Business Excellence Awards donation. The late grant and aid request. Council Textile.
And what do we have? What did we do anything last year?
Yes,
Yeah,
And what did we do?
Taxes, wasn't it?
I will defer to the deputy corporate officer. who
Awesome.
did research.
So the request that was put forward is the exact same as the request that was approved in 2023. And it aligns with what was already approved by council for the Port Hardy Rotary annual auction, which was for a monthly adult swim pass equivalent, as well as a youth senior monthly pass, as well as the annual harbor parking.
Council Textile, seconded by Council Smith. Any comments? Council Smith?
We have enough in our,
We do,
perfect,
just barely.
okay, good.
We have a bit.
We're getting tight. All in favor? Carried. We have from Natasha Griffiths, Rotary Club of Port Hardy, read the Christmas cheer float, the parade route and approval request.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Moved by Council Tidbury, seconded by Council Smith. Sorry, Council Dorwood?
I'm just gonna declare a conflict of interest and omit myself from the voting on this.
Okay,
This is
Here.
one of those that.
What we talked about.
It's not,
Well,
Not a call.
it's a proceed.
yes,
So
moving on.
moving on.
Gonna vote.
Any comments?
Love it.
Great idea.
Yeah.
It is a great idea and everybody loves it.
Mhm.
So-
We do, yeah.
So all in favor? Any opposed? Carried.
It's like it, both of them too.
So Janet,
Yeah, you got it.
you come back. From Amanda Humphrey. On behalf of the Port Hardy Senior Secondary grad class of 2025, read the Market Street banner request.
Make that a motion. Love this.
Yeah, no, I think it's good. Do we need any do we need to drop this
Marcia,
down?
heading off to Smith.
Just in terms of budget allocation, so for us to be able to complete swapping out all of the banners for the month of June, it's roughly between 4 to 8 hours for us to be able to swap them all out. So just understanding that there is a cost that goes with that. So figuring we have to use a bucket truck and a person, that you'd be looking at about 135. Sorry, well, that's about 8 hours, sorry.
So we would we want to charge them for the putting the banner up?
No, but what we would do is we charge that to our community events
Mhm.
section of our budget. And right now, we have Flomy Days and then other community events. So even just helping out with the festival lights and everything gets charged to a community events budget. So as we're adding things year on year, we just want to make sure that we have enough money to
In the
cover that up. Yep.
And do we have enough money in the community event to be?
Well, this will be for next year, so.
Oddly
we'll have
enough,
to-
we're in that
Oh,
program.
okay, thank you. Thank you for reminding me.
We'll make
So-
note of that.
Yeah.
We will have to make sure that we make a note of making sure that there's enough funding. We do always make sure that there's a nice buffer so that council can approve requests like this. And then the other thing that we have to consider is that if our bucket truck decides that it's going to not be working that month, we'll have to contract that out. for it to get done. So then there is a direct cost. that we have.
We have bucket trucks available.
Yeah, people that would probably donate.
Careful, conflict of interest.
I know. But come on, say.
Not if you're donating.
Just,
Counselor Dorwood?
Thank you. I just wanted to make sure, and I'm sure staff's already considered this, but is there something we normally do in the month of June for those banners? Because I know we do like the red banners, we do the Christmas banners.
So
Just what?
we would do, so right now the schedule is that February to May is the red banners, which means that we're
Okay.
swapping up the banners in June for the summer banners that happen. somewhere in there as well in March, we also do the Bear Smart banners that kind of get, because we have Bear Smart Week in March. So June is actually really good. We'd be swapping out in July for the summer banners that would go in for 40 days.
Perfect. Well, I look forward to seeing all of the hardworking graduates up in June.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I think it's a great idea.
it is a good idea.
All right, all in favor? Any opposed? Carried. We have from Douglas Scott, Deputy Solicitor General, Ministry of Public Safety and Solicitor General regarding our ministry meeting follow-up information. Any comments, questions? From Tara Richards, Deputy Minister, Ministry of Emergency Management and Climate Readiness. Again, a ministry meeting follow-up for information. From Lori Halls, Deputy Minister, Ministry of Water, Land and Resource Stewardship. Another ministry meeting follow-up for information. Okay, we have from Ben Hyman, Executive Director, Vancouver Island Regional Library, regarding 2025 rural appointments. And the request was to have a new appointment for our trustee and an alternate. So Counselor Smith for the appointee and Counselor Tidbury for the alternate.
Yeah, I'll make that motion.
Moved by Counselor Robertson, seconded by Counselor Texmo. Any comments or questions?
Just a thank you to Mr.
Thank
Fred
you.
Robertson for,
I was-
Yeah.
Thanks.
So I wanted to thank Counselor Robertson for 8 years of devotion to being our library rep, as well as being the vice chair of the committee for a few years.
Couple of years, yeah.
A couple of years, and what a great advocate and what a great appointee.
Mhm.
So thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, Fred.
I to your passion.
It is.
And I was actually, I'm just gonna divert ever so lightly, and I was at Guido's having a coffee for a friend. And I overheard a young person, wanting to say, talking to someone else, and she goes, Mr. Robertson read that to me when I was. Oh, I have to tell Counselor Robertson that, so it's kind of timely to do it at this time too. Okay, we have our draft minutes of the Emergency Planning Committee meeting held September 30th for information. Comments, questions? We have for
Did we
draft.
vote
minutes-
on that? Did we vote on the library thing? Like we did the first and second, but did we actually
I think
vote?
we did.
Oh, did we
No,
not, did we vote?
no,
No?
I don't think so.
Okay, back to voting. Thank you, Counselor Darwood.
Yeah, good catch.
All in favor of the new appointees? Any opposed? Carried. Figures the person in New Zealand caught that.
Yeah.
Going back, draft minutes of the Emergency Planning Committee meeting. We have the draft minutes of the committee, the whole meeting held October 22nd for information. We have our draft minutes of the Tourism Advisory Committee meeting held October 29th for information and as well as a recommendation. So would one of the committee members like to talk to that?
John, you're the man.
He was away and so was Trina, unfortunately.
This-
I was too.
So maybe our CAO or deputy corporate.
This was the
officer.
tourism one?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Talking to the MRDT.
Yeah.
Yes. And so the MRDT tactical plan was presented to the committee at the last meeting in draft form and has been finalized by Natalie Stewart, who is our 4VI MRDT facilitator. And basically the budget is very similar to the one that you saw last year, with some more print material, website. While we had the website done this year, we were also looking at making sure that we keep the content lively, as well as ensuring that we have a good photo bank, going forward. And then, of course, some, what the other thing was, it signage? No, sorry, it was more advertising on buses.
On buses, yeah.
There you go. And then we've got destination development experience management, which is the training of $5,000 and experience enhancement and training with regards to making sure that our tourism operators have access to additional training. One of the things that we also talked about at the meeting was having Indigenous awareness training as well made available. So that's something that's going to be sourced to see if that's available for the services. Next one. Then we had roughly a total of $81,600, which is very similar to last year's budget. That's just the quarterly portion. The VINT component, which is the Vancouver Island North Tourism, is separate, and their budget is completely, that's been through VINT, and perhaps Councillor Dugas, who sits on that, and Councillor Didbury might be able to speak to that if there was any questions to the VINT portion.
Any comments? Questions?
We'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Moved by Councillor Dugas, second by Councillor Smith. All in favor?
And if I could just highlight one thing too, one of the things we did discuss at the tourism meeting was when we do the renewal of the MRDT funding, because we're on a 5-year renewal. So we can't deviate too much from our budget because we've already given a tactical plan for the 5 years. So then it's a yearly budget to support that. One of the things we did talk about was opening up the budget for the housing component, which is currently permitted within the RDT. So expect that when we do the renewal in 2 years, that will be something that's going to come top of mind to the table.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay. All right, from our finance department, the October 2024 second EFT listener report, Councillor Robinson.
Just because I can ask, who is Radius Contracting Inc.?
Ooh.
Is it the skate park?
Cool.
No, I just saw a large check.
Wow, and look at the work that they're doing.
I know, it's
It's
amazing.
like amazing, absolutely amazing. And those, whoever took the pictures from up above looked really good and yeah, very nice.
That was reading.
Yeah, I think
Or
so.
would you go and take pictures?
No,
Oh,
no, my license for my drone doesn't allow me to fly over town.
Oh,
Just over the water. when it
You
falls
need
in.
an advanced license, yeah, to fly over town or within, right, because the
Right.
helipad,
Yeah.
you can't be within, I think, 2 kilometers of that.
So do you need a license to sink it too?
Still hurts.
Yes.
Still hurts.
I wouldn't remember that, Dennis.
I just. had to bring it up.
All right,
There's a
don't
web-
pick on Councillor Tex.
Yeah, I don't think, Jason knows about this.
Okay, from our Director of Finance, Normie Isaac, the 2024 tax sale report for information. Congratulations are in order from everyone in Finance Department. So please pass that on, that we, great tax sale result. From Tony DeFrida, I pronounced that right?
I'm not sure.
Capital Projects Manager, early approval of the centrifuge.
Then I have to declare a conflict of interest because I am the FSR holder of the treatment plan, so.
Thank you. We'll call you back in.
Sounds good.
So Tony, would you like to take this away?
Yeah, it's more of basically what I spoke to last week. The centrifuge is a critical piece of equipment down at the wastewater treatment plant. It is at risk of imminent failure. We just had a contractor come in from Kelowna, and he said that we have probably not even months, weeks left on it. The proposal is to not only do the centrifuge, but to do the supporting equipment as well, and just upgrade the whole dewatering facility.
So those people that are online and will be listening to this coming up. This is a critical piece of infrastructure for you to be able to flush your toilets and for us to keep the sewer treatment facility operating at full capacity. And normally we would put this out for request for proposal, and it would be a long drawn out procedure. Or we would apply for a grant, and we have applied for grants in the past and have not been successful. So now we're looking at imminent failure, and our staff have been amazing at keeping it going. The contractors came in and spent, I think it was 20 hours straight to try and get it going again, and have put it together sort of, but it shakes and shimmers, and everybody is holding their breath that it doesn't collapse. So unfortunately, we had to consult a lawyer to see what we could do in order to shorten the time frame so that we could go out and put out a request to have this equipment put in quicker than later. And so our CAO consulted with a lawyer, and maybe our CAO can just speak to that.
Yeah, so rather than putting out a full bid package, we'll be doing a solicitation for an expression of interest, with the parameters being that we need this piece of equipment delivered now. And then we will be able to select the proponents based on the expression of interest. An expression of interest is basically what we would then be doing is selecting the proponent and negotiating with the proponent in order to secure the item, rather than normally what would happen is you'd have an engineer draft up all of the documents, do all the design, then you do a tender, you'd put it out for tender, and then you'd have people would then fill out the solicitation, and then you're looking at a much longer process in order to bring that forward. So by putting out an expression of interest, we would be getting a one-pager back from those that can actually supply within the time frame in which we would need. And then that would allow us the ability for Tony to be able to negotiate directly with the proponents, while still satisfying our TILMA requirements of the BC.
And it's, well, we're asking for the max that we possibly think it's going to cost, but we're hoping it will be significantly less. Fingers crossed.
The amount that we are asking for is based on having an engineer design and do everything else. It will be significantly cheaper by procuring it through an expression of interest.
Any comments, questions?
Rural infrastructure.
It's a very critical piece of infrastructure, and truly this is what, as us on council, our main focus is supposed to be infrastructure. Right,
I'll make the motion.
moved by Councillor Dugas, seconded by Councillor
Second.
Texel. Oh, seconded by Councillor Dorwood, sorry.
Oh,
We'll go with.
yeah, we'll go with that.
She's got the.
We'll go with the
time
far in that.
delay. Any other comments? All in favor? Any opposed? Carried. Louise is just going to get Brian or Councillor Texma. We have from Heather Nelson Smith, the CAO, regarding the CP 2.15 recreation cost recovery policy. CAO Nelson Smith.
Yeah, I don't have anything to add, except that this is based on our conversation from last week, where basically we left the policy as is, with the exception of the number 4 early bird discount. And we removed the amount and put it into the fees and charges bylaws we discussed at the finance meeting. So you have the policy in front of you, and it just require approval.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second that.
Councillor Dugas, second by Councillor Texma. Any comments, questions?
Great work.
Yeah, good job.
All in favor? Any opposed? Carried. We have for adoption our bylaw number 1176-2024 revenue anticipation borrowing. Moved by Councillor Texmo, seconded by Councillor Dugas.
Tidbury.
Councillor Tidbury, seconded by Councillor Dugas.
I know you want to keep going. Yeah.
So we hope not to have to
Follow.
use this bylaw, but do just in case.
Mm.
All in favor? Carried. We have our bylaw number 1177-2024 repeal zoning amendment bylaw number 1151-2022 for first, second, and third readings.
Yeah.
CAO Nestle Smith.
Yeah. So you will recall in 2022, I believe it was, we did a rezone on a property on Galitas Way. And we changed it from multi-unit residential to single detached residential. So that the applicant could apply for a subdivision to put 3 single-family units on that. The owner has since decided that that is not the way that they would like to go and has requested that rezoning be revoked back to its original zoning, which would be repealing this bylaw and putting it back to the way that it was prior to that change. And so that's why you have a repeal bylaw in front of you.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Councillor Dix.
Yeah, I'll make the motion on that, but I guess the question I have, is there a cost incurred with regards to repealing this?
It took me about a half an hour to write the bylaw to repeal it, so the cost was quite minimal. I think really the bigger cost would have been just the back and forth leading up to it to find out whether or not this was a possibility. Which we would afford to any applicant that came forward. They did pay for the full rezoning in the first place, and they actually also have paid for a subdivision application. And the PLR has been issued on that property, so it's just a matter of
Mhm.
there will be no transfer back.
Okay,
I think
perfect.
that their subdivision costs might be, but
Second,
Second by Councillor Dorwood. Moved by Councillor Dugas. Any other questions, comments?
Well, thank you for that.
Thank you.
The first one.
All in favor? Any opposed? Carried. Pending bylaw number 1164-2023. Council reports. Councillor Dorwood.
Our traveler, world traveler.
I attended the volunteer breakfast. It was really well done, as it was last year. I think even better this year. Really well attended. Just so happy that we're a community that appreciates our volunteers and shows them that. So that's it. That's all the council work I've done, and it's all the council work I'll do for 3 or 4 months here. other than attending meetings.
Yes,
Other
yes.
than these meetings,
that
yeah,
counts.
obviously. Yeah.
Counts a lot,
That's it for me.
so thank you. Councillor Tidbury.
I'm getting back to my usual self again. I did attend the breakfast, the appreciation breakfast. I think it went over with great success. I attended the Sports Fisheries Advisory Board, just as an observer in there. And I'm glad I'm an observer because a lot of it they talk about, I don't understand. So they talk about different fish species and stuff like that. So I get a little lost on that. But I'm there as support for the sports fishermen people in Port Hardy. I did the haunted house. I did the pumpkin walk. I attended the seniors meeting, and just a reminder that the bazaar's coming up there. And along with that, I did the tea for for two of our past members, a remembrance of our past members at the seniors there. I did the tourism regional meeting, and basically what you had at the Port Hardy one is basically we talked about it, the regional district ones, a budget and things like that. Did hamper fund. I missed the VIMWAG meeting. First one I've ever missed. Eh?
I'm surprised.
I know, it's the very first one I missed. So, because I really enjoy that meetings. I did we had a regional emergency planning session here in Port Hardy. And it was attended for well over 30 people there. And like I was saying, one of the groups that we would have liked to have talked to was highways, the maintenance and stuff like that. And they didn't show their appearance. But it was, oh, and then I'm the chair of that again too. So just,
You like that.
I don't know. And of course, yesterday I did the Remembrance Day. I had fear, and I went down there the day before. I don't know if you noticed the day before, but the wind was straight out. And it was coming from the waterway, and it was coming up Douglas Street there. So it wouldn't have been very good for tents or anything like that down there. And basically, that's it.
Counselor Smith.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, I missed a bunch of events because I had to be out of community for a death in the family. So I was out of the community from October 26th to November 4th. I attended the Remembrance Day ceremony. It was a good turnout this year, despite the weather. The weather held off, though. No rain until the wreath laying, which that was fortunate. Thank you, Mayor, for your words and speeches. Were all good. And today we had our Bear Smart meeting with our Wild Safe BC coordinator that was here today, and so hopefully that position will continue into the future, because it is quite hand in hand with our Bear Smart and keeping community safe as well as our wildlife. And I missed that scavenger hunt and pumpkin carving that we had contest that was going on. But we do have winners for that, and those will be announced probably later this week. So that's my report.
Thank you. Counselor Texmo.
Thank you, Mayor. So I attended the Volunteer Appreciation Awards breakfast. That was my first one I got to go to, which was amazing. It was well done, and proud to be a part of a community that recognizes our volunteers. And it was well attended, and the food was great. Everything about it was good. And then on Halloween, I did the costume crawl with the family, and that was great. It was awesome to see businesses take part in that, and hand out candy for the kids, and seeing all the kids in costumes and everybody attending was awesome. The only thing that I must have got asked about 10 or 15 times is maybe talking about closing the street down because of the amount of children that are walking up and down. Just kind of maybe a bit of a safety thing, just something maybe to discuss. I think we might have discussed something about it last year, but I didn't really think about it until someone mentioned it this year. And yeah,
Counselor Smith and I talked about it too, and I did talk to our deputy corporate officer, and just trying to strategize
how
and
yeah.
Okay,
well, that's good. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Very busy area.
Yeah.
Pedestrians for that kind of time.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, something maybe to discuss further. And then, Halloween night was awesome. As the mayor would know, I spent most of my time on, Elk Drive, and I couldn't believe the amount of kids that were up there. I know that you have kind of specifics and numbers, but it was awesome. It was great. So just another thing just for like, community coming together and putting something on for the kids too is amazing. And same with the fire department and everything, like just everybody comes together and puts on these things for everybody, and for the kids, and it's amazing. So thankful for that. I went to the fall fair as well. The fall fair was awesome. One big thing is a shout out to the rec department, because it wasn't just about,
Oh, the autumn festival.
or autumn festival, sorry. I'm thinking fall fair, yeah, sorry, autumn festival, my bad. But it wasn't just about vendors, like, I brought my kid there, and rec department had set up all these things, and their volunteers, or all the rec employees set up all these things for kids to do. So there was more than enough for kids, and my kid was terrorizing, so that was great. So thank you for that. No, that's great. It's nice to be able to go to an event like that and then have your kids be able to have a ton of fun. So that was amazing. Other than that, we had a finance meeting, and I'm not gonna be here for raising the Métis flag, but I am proud Métis. I wish I could be here, but I'll be there in spirit. I'm gonna be on a hunting trip, so practicing my Métis rights anyway, so. But that's it for me.
Woo.
Councilor Dugas.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, the Volunteer Appreciation Awards, breakfast, that was awesome. Great turnout, and thank you to the mayor and Brian for being there and giving out awards with Heather and all the stuff that you guys did. It was fantastic. I really appreciate that. And I know that everybody that attended really thought it was great, that the district is showing their appreciation for volunteers.
It's good.
I think that's awesome. I was at the Vintech meeting with John, obviously, being the chair. I had a good year this year, 2025. Lots of people coming. Some of the areas were lower, they said, than before, but still lots of people coming into our community, so we see a big benefit there. I did mention too, and we talked about a little bit about that, there was a new Jen, I can't remember her last name, but she was from 4VI.
Paul V, yeah.
Yeah, she was here and helping with Natalie, and we did talk about that, the importance about our museum and our visitor information center working together.
Oh,
And how important that is with regards to moving forward, and we're really looking forward to seeing that expand in that particular area, and that's gonna be a big focal point for tourism in the future, for sure. Yeah, we're just still preparing for the Fall Economic Development Forum, which will be held on November the 20th, and I'm sure that our mayor will be there, and yeah, I'm not sure if Heather will be there or not, but that's gonna be a big, it's our seventh one that we're putting on, so that's pretty cool. North Island Seniors Housing Foundation, we're having ongoing meetings, obviously, with BC Housing and with our stakeholders, our local and Indigenous stakeholders, so we're really excited about that moving forward. Hopefully there'll be an intake in the spring, but we don't know that for sure yet. I know that there will be some announcements coming up here probably shortly with regards to the people that'll be stepping into those ministerial positions in the province. There'll be some new people, new faces, so that'll be exciting for our staff, I'm sure, to try to figure out how we're gonna deal with all that. And the Remembrance Day service, yes, it was tremendous turnout this year, I thought. But, when I think about it, and I guess across Canada, they've had really good turnouts. But when we see what's going on in the world today, with regards to conflicts, in Ukraine and Gaza and a number of other places in Africa, things like that, people are starting to realize the importance of freedom. Really coming forward and say, man, we are so lucky where we live that we don't have to live in a situation that some of the people that are actually people that have come to our community, the mayor had mentioned that people that have come to live in our community from those war-torn places right now, that we're so fortunate to live in a country that we can have that freedom. I think that it's being more appreciated now more than ever because of what's going on in the world around us. So, and thank you, Mayor, for your words. and for all those that participated in our ceremony this year. I think it was awesome. It was really great, really well done. So again, thank you. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thanks, it's rolling.
Said 2 minutes.
Oh, no, somebody else said. And I did actually forget to mention at the end of one of the correspondence, I had something that I was going to mention, just briefly, and it was the, response from, the deputy minister to minister, energy management and climate. Anyway, they sent a list of possible funding agencies where we could apply for funding. And I just wanted to get my opinion out there that the program that the government put out a while ago, Heather can remind me, where they just gave communities money and communities didn't have to go hat in hand begging for money. And so that we can choose how we want to spend that money, was, I think, very well received. And rather than send out, you can always go to these people and ask for some funding and get in the lineup there. I like the model where, and I was gonna say, I like the model where they fund the communities for it. And we don't have to go begging cap in hand all the time.
Growing communities.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
What did we get? 1.9 million or something?
Yeah, anyway, I thought it was well received and I think we put it to good use, and so.
Yeah.
I also would like to personally express my condolences to the Horgan family on the passing of Premier Horgan. I think he was a huge supporter of communities like ours, resource communities, and was always looking for that balance between using resources and an environmental approach. And he was a big supporter of our community. And also in my notes, I'd like to thank Janet for attending from New Zealand. That's above and beyond, anyway. Great. I was also at the Remembrance Day ceremony, Eleanor, and it was.
She gave you a
Big
card.
Floating up the screen.
Send comments and thank you for everyone for the comments. And also acknowledging all of the businesses and communities and groups, organizations that take part in Lay Reefs. I think it's a strong reflection of our community. Just on a personal note, we had a truly West Coast experience on Saturday, that wonderful day that was summer in the fall. And so we had a big giant family trip over to San Joe Beach, and it was a bag of fun. It was lots of fun. But also I did want to take the opportunity, because it's my last time on council, where I will actually be the council's representative with the Vancouver Island Regional Library. Thank you for the opportunity to serve on the board. It's been great. I've quite enjoyed it. And you're right, public libraries are a passion of mine. And also to say that I have a huge and deep admiration and respect for all of the frontline workers who work in the libraries. And they have faced severely challenges. Libraries have changed over the years and they continue to change. They just ain't the libraries that you really used to have. So, and it's, I think, some strong leadership from the board there too. And again, also the volunteer appreciation. It's great to come from a community where we have the number of volunteers where we can actually recognize their contribution to our community. And I think it again reflects well on our community. And that's me. Thanks.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I just forgot to mention that I attended the Pumpkin Patch Walk, and it was awesome. Thank you to John, the Lions Club, the Rotary Club, the Junior Rangers, all the volunteers. If anyone didn't know that they packed all those pumpkins in that night, and if you see, it went all the way from past by the visitor center all the way down to like the swing sets. I don't know how many pumpkins it was, but it was a lot. So not only that, they had to set up the wooden stands on the post, take all that down that night, so. it was-
And light them up too.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a huge amount of work. It's actually monumental and it was amazing. It was really good. Talking with family and community, it's a perfect event for, families in our community and thankful for that. So thank you to everybody.
Yes. So I attended many of those things, and I just actually, when you mentioned about the pumpkin walk and the costume crawl and the autumn festival and the volunteer appreciation breakfast, and when I had the mayor's task force and we were trying to bring something together for the town, and we tried to have a very diverse group of people on there, and one of the people on there hadn't been in town for very long. He says, there's no festivals, there's nothing happening in this town. And now I'm thinking how it's changed. And Councillor Smith talked so much about having a volunteer appreciation event, something. And now this breakfast that we're doing, this is the second year we've done it, and it was well attended. We're getting more people being nominated, more people are voting, and I know it's a ton of work to put it on. And we have volunteers helping out, our CAO making amazing signs and things like that, and people working together to appreciate the volunteers and the community, and it's great. And the volunteers that couldn't come because they were volunteering, we're going to try and get them here to, much like we did last year for the volunteers that couldn't make it, have something in here and just acknowledge and say the words in that. But the people that were nominated, I had Councillor Texmo text me, goes, so-and-so I want to let her know that she won, or she wanted to know if she won. And and I just thought that kind of excitement that she knew she'd been nominated, but didn't know if she won, and that she could reach out to Councillor Texmo and ask. So that was great. The costume crawl, 18 years, and it's too bad that Cora's not here. Cora started that 18 years
really?
ago. And so pretty amazing how it's grown. And yeah, we're gonna have to look at doing something for the street. I don't think the signs do it, and I don't know even closing. Anyways, we'll have to look at it for next year because there's so many businesses that are doing it. Remembrance Day was very special, and it always is. And the tea for Lillian O'Connor and Sharon Lyons that I went to, acknowledging them and their work in the community, and it was very touching. Our CAO Nelson Smith and I went to an introduction to the Galkatolta Family Services Society that is basically an offshoot from the Guasala Naquita, and their family justice and how they're growing. And it's a society with a board of directors, and it's just it's pretty amazing what they're doing and what they plan to do. And so that was really neat. Working with the Sinaloa Culturally Supportive Housing, how that's growing, and it's taken a life of its own, which is what we wanted it to do. And it's huge and it's great. I attended the BC Salmon Farmers Association membership. It was a virtual lunch meeting. And that was interesting, and how they're still advocating and working hard. So, and I attended the Regional District Emergency Management meeting. Yeah, and a number of other little meetings that more information will be coming out, but I can't say anything about them right now. And I wanted to thank Councillor Texmo for being the deputy mayor for the last 6 months.
8 months.
8 months. And all the work you did and helped out, and thank you very much.
Very welcome.
Really appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
And now it's turning over to Councillor Tidbury, who doesn't have enough on his plate.
Yeah.
Thank you. We have our information and announcements, raising of the Métis flag at 2 o'clock on the 14th. Coffee with the mayor on the 15th. The number of different awards and number of meetings. We have no notice of in camera. Motion to adjourn. Council Robertson. Any questions? It will be all online. Oops.
We just have a note from Bonnie. Thank you, Mayor, Councilors, CEO, staff, and guest speakers. The reports this meeting are appreciated. Infrastructure, due diligences, finance accountability to the community tourism events, and even from across the world. Port Hardy is a wonderful community for all. A long meeting today for you all. Enjoy.
Thank you. Thank you, Bonnie.
Of course, the only time when you need to
Oh,
go.
skip.
Oh, and
Projects.
and the new projector's up, by the way.
We did cover questions there.
Sorry, Karina, what did you say?
I said nothing. My water's empty.
All right.
Bye,
well,
everybody.
Bye, Jack.
Uh,
Safe travel.